there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable new Whimsy Stamps image called the Infant King. Aren't they super cute? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. So I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. All right, so we're going to start out by outlining our image, and for that we are going to use C00. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to start over here at my lamb's little bell there and go all the way around. And I like to do this first so that I don't have to worry about picking up any of the other colors off my image if I've already colored it. Or if I color on my image, it will easily be erased with my colorless blender without having to worry about erasing anything else. And I like to put the shadow on there so that it looks a little bit more dimensional, not quite so flat. And I don't usually worry about how fat the line is. I just go around and whatever I get is what I get. And we're going to go down here to this grass. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the skin. For that, we're going to use E11, 21, 00, 000, a little bit of V20. And then for the cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and 30. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my E11. And let's go ahead and start over here on our baby. And I'm just going to brush a little bit away from that blanket. And then I'm going to, because there's just a little bit of her arm showing, let's go ahead and add some color to that. Okay. Then I'm going to add E21. And I touch down on top of my E11 and I just flick away. And then I'm going to fill it in with E00. And then I'm going to take V20 and I'm just going to lay down a little bit of a shadow on my infant's face. Then we'll pop up here and we'll do her. So again, grab E11. And let's go with a little bit next to our donkey. And then I want to go underneath of her bangs. And then we're going to come around this side of her bangs. In her ear. And then I'm going to bring this down to her neck. And then for her neck, let's go like this. Oh, and I want to do her eye too, so let's go ahead up here and put a little bit above her eyelid. Next, we are going to add E21. So again, remember, we're just going to flick away from our line. I don't want to get too close to her eye right here, so I'm going to go above her little eyelashes. And then I'm going to flick away from this line. And I think I'll bring my line around the rest of her face. Then I'm going to add E00. I'm going to go ahead and fill in her neck. Go over that eyeshadow or the eye I put on there, that dark color, kind of soften it a little bit. And over here I want to leave a little bit of white so I didn't get really close to her eyeball. Next we're going to do E00. And I'm just going to fill the rest of her face in. And I'm not worried that it looks really not blended because we're going to go back with the second coat after we add our cheek color. So let's do R20 first. And then over here, let's do and then we'll add R30. And I'll probably add a second coat after I add her skin tone because I want to pink those up a little bit. Okay, so let's go with our second coat of skin tone. So I usually skip the first one, so I'm going to go with E21 first. And then we'll do E00. E00. And then let's pink up her cheeks. So we're going to go with our 20. Oops. I'm also going to do her lips. And then we're going to go over the edges of our cheeks with R30. Then we'll go over those with E00. And then I'm going to take V20 and add a little bit of shadow right where it's dipping to our little donkey. And then I'm going to go over here where her hair is falling down. Go right along here where her face is kind of tipped down and she's looking at the baby. And then I'm going to go over that with, let's see, E00. Just lightly feather that edge. I think I might add a little bit of cheek color too. So let's do R20. Just a little bit right there. So next, let's do the angel's hair. For that, we're going to use V20, E42, E41, and Y00. I'm going to start with V20. And I'm just going to use that to add a little bit of shadows in. So let's brush a little bit away from our donkey. I'm going to use these lines sort of as my guide. So wherever there's a line, I'm going to pull a little bit of color away from it. Nothing fancy. Then we'll add E42. And we'll just add some streaks in here. Next, we'll add E41. And we're just adding more lines. And I'm going to go back with a second coat, so I don't worry if it doesn't look perfect the first time. Next, we'll add Y00. And I'm going to add a little bit more of this because I want her hair to have that yellow cast to it. Then we're just going to repeat our colors. So V20 first. E42. E41. And then I think I will skip the Y00. Next, let's do the holly in her hair. So for the green, we're going to use G28, 24, 21. And for the berries, I'm going to use R27, 05, and 22. I'm going to start with G28. And I'm just going to use this line right here. So I'm going to go a little bit away from my berries. And then go down the center of my leaf. Same for this one. Let's do this little line. And then we're going to pull away from this leaf. I'll probably add a second coat, so we'll see how this one goes. Then we'll add G24. And same thing, I just want to pull away from my G28. And next we'll fill it in with our G21. And I think I'll give it a second coat. Let's darken them up a little bit. So go with your G28 again. Pull it out here a little bit more. And then we'll do G24. And then our G21 to fill it in or go over all the other colors. Then for the berries, let's go with R27 first. And for that, let's see. Let's kind of concentrate it here in the middle where they're kind of touching, like this one. And then this one here that's got the whole circle, I'm going to do along the bottom. And then I'm going to add R05. And then R22. I think I'll go back and add just one more swipe of my R27. Let's go down here and work on the cradle next. For that, we're going to use E39, 35, 33, 31, 30, and 44. I'm going to start with E39. And I'm just going to draw in some lines. But first, let's go, I think I'll go up here and add some color underneath this straw. I'm just going to pull away from my straw down here into my cradle. That. And then let's go down this line, or the side of our cradle. And I'm going to go down the back. And then I also want to go along the bottom. And then I'm going to add some lines. So let's just go this. Let's start with that and we'll see how that goes. Next, we're going to add some E35. So I want to soften this back edge of this line, so I'm going to flick across that. And then we'll add some lines. So let's go. I think I'll go down this side here, right here too. And then pull a little bit away from this side. I better do some over here. Okay. Next, we're going to add E33. So add a little bit to your sides. I'm not being very tidy. I'm just flicking away from it. And then we'll add some lines. Next, we're going to add E31. Add some lines of this in there. And we'll finish it up here with E30 for our lines. I'm just going to swipe clear across, smush all those colors together. Then I'm going to do my E44 up here where we drew next to our hay to add some shadow in here and darken it up. And I think that I will go back and add some more of these browns. Let's darken it up a little bit. So E39. And I'm not going to worry about the sides. I'm just going to add a few little lines back in here to darken our cradle up a little bit more. And let's add E35. I just want my cradle to be a little bit darker. You could always leave it the way that it was. There, I like that better. Let's do the hay in our cradle next. So we're going to do Y15 and 13. I'm going to start with Y15. And I'm going to go up from the bottom. I'm just going to flick color right along the bottom. And then I'm going to do a small line next to my blanket. Nothing fancy. And then we'll go over that with Y13. Just fill it in. And I think I'll go back and add just a little bit more at the bottom here with my Y15. For the blanket, well, let's use C4, 2, 0, and our colorless blender. So I'm going to start with C4. And I just want to add some shadow areas in. So let's go with this wrinkle right here first. And then right here we can see underside of the blanket. So I'm going to color that. And then it kind of swoops down right here. So I'm going to give this a little wrinkle like so. And then up here, where the blanket kind of goes up and then it comes down again, let's go right in here and add some color. So it'll have a little wrinkle right there. And then the edge of the blanket's kind of folding in, so let's do that. And then right here, we can see underneath the blanket. This will be underneath. And there's a wrinkle right here. And then I'm going to put a wrinkle right, let's do a little wrinkle right here a little bit. And then maybe right here where it's curving under. Then up here, let's see, let's go. here, folding under right here. And I'm moving them around from my original card. I've had them in a little bit different place, but today we're going to do a little bit different. And let's see, it kind of dips right here. So let's give it a little bit of an indentation, and then it dips right here. Next, we are going to add C2. And we just want to soften those lines. I'm just going to barely touch it and add a little bit color to this little wrinkle. And then right here, let's add a little bit more, bring it up. Next, we'll go with C0. I'm going to bring it up right here, kind of folding down right there so we can make it have a little bit of a shadow there. And let's see, better add a little bit here. Maybe should have added a little bit of my C2 there. We'll see how it looks when we're all done. And then I'm going to go over that with my colorless blender. And I like it, so I'm going to leave it. For our donkey, for our lamb, the lamb, we're going to use W420, W8, and for his cheeks and ears, I'm going to use our 20 and 30. And we are going to start with W4. And let's see, let's do shadow down here on his leg. And then we're going to do this leg. So I'm going to go next to this box or to the cradle so I don't draw on that first. And then I'm going to flick away from that. And then let's bring our color down. Let's see here. Let's move this. Let's do a little dab right on the edge of his ear. I'm going to do pink in here. And then we're going to do up here like so. And we're going to do in this way. And we'll do this. And up here, I'm going to bring it around like this because it's got a little bit, it looks like a shadow going on right here. And we better do underneath of his fur right here. And this ear. And we better do underneath of his face. That. Okay, moving right along. Next, we're going to do W2. Now I'm going to go ahead and brush this little section in. And then let's do up here. And we're just going to work our way around. And let's go around this bell. Next, we are going to fill them in with W0. And then I'm going to add some cheek colors. Let's do R20. And I'm going to give him a little rosy cheek right here. I'm going to add some R30, so I don't want to fill that all the way in. And then we'll go over that with R30. Okay, then I'm going to grab our W2 again. And let's soften some of this color just a little bit more. And then we'll go over that with W0. Then we are going to take W8 and do his hooves. And let's see here. I left a little bit of a white space in on his hooves, so I'm not going to color all the way across. And if you colored it all the way in, you could go back and use your Sharpie white paint pen or your Uniball white gel pen to draw a little bit of white on his hoof. I'm going to do the angel's wings too. So let's do her wings with our W4. Since we got them out. And let's see, let's do underneath here, since it looks like it's got some folds in here. And I'm going to do next to her hair. And then I want to go under each one of these little feathers or V's. Then we're going to add W2. And for W2, let's go around the outside. And then I'm going to fill that in with W0. let's do her dress next. For that, we're going to use E53, 51, and 50. I'm going to start with E53. And let's put some shadows in. So let's go with right next to where her arm is touching her body of her dress. And then I'm going to use each of these wrinkles or these lines as a guide to add some color. And then over here, let's go down this side of her dress. And then I want to flick away from her hair. And over here, she's got a couple of little lines, so I'm going to make those a little exaggerated for wrinkles. And we'll go down this line of her dress. And then for her sleeve, let's go next to the donkey's face. And inside of her sleeve. And then for her skirt, let's use all these lines. And let's see, let's skip this extra. And then right here, it looks like it dips back in. So I'm going to go ahead and add some right here. Next, I'm going to add E51. And we just want to go over that 53. So I'm just going to flick right over the top of it. And then we're going to fill it in with our E50. I brush over her entire dress. I forgot to do the bell on our little lamb there, so let's do Y15. I should have done that when I had the hay. And then Y13. Whoops. So for our donkey, we are going to use C64320, C1086, and for his inside of his ear, I'm going to use our 20 and 30. So let's go ahead and start with C6. C6, we're going to do his body with, so let's do away from her sleeve. I'm going to try not to color her sleeve. And there's a little bit of a little ruff right here. So let's go underneath that and kind of pull down a little bit. Try not to color the baby's face. Same thing over here. You've got a little bit of a little ruff right here. So let's go, it kind of sticks up. And let's go around, and I'm going to kind of keep my pencil going in the shape of his neck, so it doesn't go straight out, it kind of curves. And let's do a little bit coming away from her hand. And then he's got an ear up here. Let's do that. A dab. And for this ear, do the bottom. And I better do a few little strands coming away from his mane. Okay, let's try that and see how that goes. Next, we will add C4. So we just want to add some more lines. Careful not to cover your baby's face. Go ahead and color that in. Let's add a little bit in here. Oops, I colored her finger. Then I'm going to add C3. I think I'm going to fill him in a little bit. And then use this down here on his nose. Okay, so for his nose, let's go around like this. And we'll get his lip. Then we're going to add C2. And then we'll do C0. Then let's add some color to his ear. So R20. R30 to fill it in. And then I'm going to go back with my C6. I'm going to add a little bit of these lines back in to his fur. next, let's do his mane. So for that, we're going to use C10, 8, and 6. So I'm going to start with C10. Let's do the baby's hair too. So let's go. And I left little patches of white, not too many, but just a few. And then we're going to do his mane. So let's go right away. Just flick a few lines away from his neck. And then up here, I'm going to go kind of pulling it in from the edges and the sides. And what should we do up here? Let's do a couple that kind of pull around like this. Then we're going to add C8. And C6. And I'm not going to fill it all the way in. I'm going to leave a little bit of white in there. That leaves us with the ground down here. So for that, I'm going to use E44, 43, and 42. I'm going to start with E44. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to add some lines like we did for the cradle. So let's start over here. I'm going to go and let's do this side. And then I also want this line to go the opposite direction. So let's go. Kind of mishmashed. Start with that. We'll see how that goes. Then we'll add E43. Same thing. Just add some lines. It's supposed to be leftover grass, so, or hay. We could add some yellow in there too, but I made mine brown thinking it was going to be dark in there. And then E42. And I think I'll go back with my E44 and do a few more of those little darker ones. So there is our adorable The Infant King all colored up. Didn't it turn out cute? So on my finished card, I have, and you get everything in your kit, but everything's flat this time. I did go ahead and I attached my jute here with, before I attached the piece with the holly on it so that it's popped up off of the card. That made it easier to tie all this on there. But I did a couple of strings around the card, and then for this piece, this little bow thing, I just kind of wrapped it around a few times so there's like 3 loops on each side, and then tied it to this so that it would be a little bit easier. And there's a little hole in the star so you can attach your star to it while you're tying it. That way you don't have to worry about it falling off. And then this stuff I just glued down with some liquid glue. And then I added some, of course, some Spica glitter pin to her hair and then to the little bow on her dress and on his little bell down here. So if you have a question, leave me a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video. Feel free to share my video with others so that everybody knows about my channel. I'll make sure to put links down in the description box if you would like to head over and grab a card kit or any of the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. Otherwise, I hope you are having a great day and we'll see you next time. Bye.